everyone, it's Amy Mae Dolan and you're very welcome to my channel. Today's video is a question and answer video. A few days ago on Instagram, I asked people to submit questions they would like to ask me, and today I'm here to answer those questions. Hopefully in this video you will get to know me a little better. A lot of the questions are based around staying motivated, my diet, what workouts I do. But there is some little quick fire, get to know me kind of questions in there, so I'm going to begin with those. So if you're interested in getting to know me better and want to find out a little bit more of me, keep watching this video. So I've just got a cup of coffee here to get into these questions. Start with a really easy one. What is your favourite colour? My favourite colour is possibly white or yellow or kind of pale blue, anything that's really bright. I love bright colours, I love bright rooms. I don't really like dark. So yeah, anything that's bright. My favourite movie or a TV show, but I do love Dirty Dancing, and I love any kind of thriller, and also I just love romance and rom-coms. But I'd have to say my all-time favourite TV show is Grey's Anatomy. I probably started watching it when I was about 13 and I just love it. It's just my favourite TV show. Oh, my pen. Next question was, do you have a pet? Yes, our family has a little Maltese teacup dog called Bonnie, and I'll have to put a little photo for you in to see her. My favourite food. So for this one, whenever it first came through, I said to my mum, do you know what my favourite food is? And we both kind of had the same answer in our head, and that is salad. And I know that sounds really strange, but I love all kinds of salads. I love vegetables, I love fruit. So they definitely are my favourite food, just because I love eating it, and then I also love how I feel afterwards. I love eggs. I eat eggs nearly every single day, so I guess that's a favourite food. I love cake, cupcakes, and I definitely love dark chocolate. So another question was milk chocolate or dark chocolate, and my answer is definitely dark chocolate. What is your favourite book? I have two favourite books. They're quite similar, and they are Commit by Enda McNulty and Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck, and I will link both of those books in the description below. What I do to pass time. For some reason I find this question hard. I do feel like I'm usually quite a busy person, but then maybe I just make myself busy. To pass time, I definitely watch like my favourite TV shows in the evening or a movie. I do love to read. Go for walks. I actually love going for walks to pass time with my family. Anytime I have to kind of just pass and enjoy, I do really like spending it with my favourite people. The most interesting place you've been to? Oh, that's a good question. I think one of the most interesting places I've been to is Singapore. I had the most incredible time there. I was with amazing people, the best company, and the weather was extraordinary, and the hotel we stayed in the Marina Bay Sands Hotel. Wow, what a hotel. And we ate there, and then we went to find kind of like a food marketplace in Singapore, which was amazing. We got lost in Singapore. We went to kind of the big flower dome places, I can't remember what you call them. But yeah, I think Singapore is probably one of the most interesting places I've been to. This is kind of a quick fire question. The dance shoes that I wear. So I wear Fays for both my light shoes and my heavy shoes. So I'm just realising that I probably didn't answer those very quick fiery. I tend to do this, I tend to blabber quite a bit. But yeah, those were kind of the quick questions. What age were you when you started Irish dancing? If you ask my mum this, she would say I was about
22 months old.
That sounds crazy. I definitely didn't properly start dancing then, but I think what happened, the story goes, is that my mum was collecting my cousin from her Irish dance class. Her mum got caught up in work or something, so I went along in the car. I saw her in the dancing class and was just like, I need to go in there and join in. So I would say I properly started dancing when I was about 4 or 5. Dancer watching this, comment what age you were when you started Irish dancing. The next question is, what makes you so motivated? This is a great question. It's a question that got me thinking a lot. I think basically, if I'm being very honest, I would say that I've been extremely motivated from as long as I can remember. I just always remember being a very determined, passionate, motivated person. But I think that comes from that I usually know what I want so I will kind of do anything to go and get it. So if that is, you know, as a young dancer, I wanted to win a world championships, so I was willing to put in whatever amount of work it was to win the world championships. I've always just kind of set goals and tried my hardest to reach them. So I think that's what it is. I think I usually take time to really decide what it is I want, and then I take time to plan how to get it, and that kind of just makes me motivated, I think. But this was a good question because I had to think about it myself, and I think the answer is that I am a very driven, passionate person. I like working hard to get things. I love the satisfaction that you get when you've worked really, really hard and you've achieved something. I think it's amazing. If you want something or you want to achieve something, it's not going to happen unless you make it happen. So that is one of the kind of the ways I live by. I think that's really important, is don't be afraid to fail, because whenever you might fail at something, I guarantee you've learned a lot along that way and actually succeeded in many different things on your path to achieving the bigger goal, if that makes any sense. The next question is, how long do you practice during quarantine? Dancing for me right now during quarantine is very much an outlet or an escape or something to do that I really enjoy, because I don't have any big competitions coming up, or we're not really so sure when we're going to be touring again. Very much driven towards that, and I'll be able to share my routine better then. But if I was a competitive Irish dancer right now, if I was still competing and I had competitions in autumn, I would be using this time to practice so much. I would be getting ahead of the game. I would be practicing for at least 2 hours a day. What's a typical day like on tour? This is a fun question because I get to think back to being on tour. Each day is very different. For example, I'll take a travel show day. That could be you get up early and you're on the bus and you could travel for maybe 4 to 5 hours, and you get into the theatre. You get catering, you eat with the cast, and you get ready and you go to rotations, which is like rehearsals, and you go to warm up and you perform the show. So that would be kind of like a travel show day. If you go to sleep then in that city that night and you wake up the next day and you have a show at maybe say 8 p.m, that day can be a bit different. You wake up at whatever time you want, have breakfast. We tend to go, I tend to go for maybe a coffee in the city that I'm in. I like this because we kind of walk around until we find a little coffee shop that we like. So really what we're doing is we're exploring the city, and then we take a break to have a coffee or lunch or whatever it might be, and then we might explore a little bit more or do a little bit of shopping, or just every day is really different. It really does depend on the city and maybe what you want to do there. Then get something to eat and go into the theatre, get ready for the show. Now, another thing is that a day I'm doing lead is different to a day I'm doing troupe, just because I need to be in the venue earlier. I'm kind of on my own more because I start earlier than the rest of the cast. So that can be a little bit different. And then a day off on tour, to have a full day off in a city that you wouldn't be in unless you were dancing with the show. So then you just have that whole day to explore the city, which usually means we kind of maybe sleep in a little bit, get up, go get breakfast somewhere in the city in a nice cafe or restaurant, then explore a little bit, do something like there might be sightseeing to do, we usually research it a little bit before we do it, do the sightseeing, come back to the hotel, get showered, get changed, go out for dinner. And then that's just really a day spent seeing the city that we're in and stuff, so that's lovely. Someone said, "You always seem so positive and kind." Thank you so much, that's so lovely. And what would be some quotes you live by? A quote that I definitely love, especially right now, is do something every day that scares you. It's a great reminder that every day is an opportunity to improve and grow and step outside your comfort zone and try things that you really want to try but you're a little bit scared to. For me, the big one this year has been setting up the YouTube channel. It was something I had thought about so many times before, but I was really scared to do it. What will people think? Do I have it in me to do it? Am I interested enough? Am I too boring? Do I have the right personality? So many of these questions going through my head, and then I just decided that there was no time like now to really try it, and I think that quote kind of really pushed me into doing it. in terms of like kindness and positivity, I usually feel really great whenever I am being a very positive person, if that makes sense. If to lean towards positive people, it's really easy to be kind to people and to just take the time to listen and talk. And I think it's so important that we live in a world with people who are trying to be kind. This is a really great question. I like this one. It is, what would you be doing if you weren't in Riverdance? I don't really know, but I know what I would have done is I would have went to university that year and I would have tried to study medicine. I wouldn't have got in straight away because I had to repeat a couple of exams, so I possibly would have done biomedical science in the hope of getting into medicine, but that is definitely the path I would have went down. I would have wanted to become a doctor 100%, and I probably would have kept competing for maybe another like 2 years. Am I glad that I took the path that I did? I'm so glad. I think I was put on the earth to be in Riverdance. I think I was born to do this. I just love that I ended up in Riverdance. It's just made me the most happiest, excited person ever, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and I feel like I've grown so much being involved in Riverdance. Somebody asked me, what has been the hardest part of getting to where you are? I don't think I've considered anything extremely hard as much as I've considered it as challenging. Actually, probably the hardest thing has been dealing with self-doubt. Self-doubt sometimes can creep in, and that's so normal, and I've began to realize how normal that is. But it's been dealing with the little doubts I have in my head about myself and realizing that those faults or those bad habits that I constantly see as a dancer, other people might not even notice, and just kind of like whenever self-doubt creeps in, just telling myself that it's okay. Like, now that you've realized maybe that it's a fault or a problem, you can try and fix it. So maybe that, just knowing that you're doing really great. Like, just for me, it's just reminding myself that you're doing the best you can, and that's all you can ask for. Another lovely question, and that's about, tell us a little bit more about your journey to becoming a lead in Riverdance. So I joined Riverdance in November 2016, and I went on my first tour of touring China, and I came home and I wasn't sure when I was going to be on tour again with Riverdance or if, so I decided to go back to competing. So I competed at the World Championships in April 2017, and I came fourth that day. And as I went up to go up for my presentation, Porrick Moyles, the Associate Director of Riverdance, was there to present us. I think Riverdance must have sponsored the competition. And so whenever I was walking on stage and he was presenting me with my medal and trophy, he said to me, we're going to train you in to be lead in Riverdance. And I really couldn't believe it. It's probably the biggest shock of my life. It really was just a huge shock. It was something I was not expecting. At the time they needed to train in girls, they needed leads for the Gaiety Theatre in Dublin. So then I was just like, okay, I'm ready. I will work the hardest I have ever worked in my life to do this role. And this is the role that inspired me to be a dancer my entire life. The female lead role in Riverdance is so beautiful and so strong, and it displays female empowerment and grace, and oh, it's amazing. And I couldn't believe that I was getting the chance to learn how to dance Countess Kathleen. So it was one of the most incredible days of my life, and I couldn't wait to tell my parents and tell everyone who knew how much this would mean to me. And it really has been the most special journey, and I have to say the hard work only really started then, but I have enjoyed every second of it. Favorite number in Riverdance? Another good question that I have so many answers for. I love Countess Kathleen because it is female empowerment. I mean, it was created 25 years ago, and it has a female fight off the male Russian dancers, and she wins, and she does it with grace and strength, and she's beautiful. So I love Countess Kathleen, and the music is amazing, and the female leads on stage with the troop girls, and they're fighting, and they're strong, and they're fierce. So I love that. Riverdance is the most iconic number ever, and you're having the most fun on stage, so I love that. But I really do love Heartland It's the last number in the show and it's so much fun and the audience are having such a great time. The music's incredible, so I don't know. Those are probably my top 3. Someone has asked me if I got any tips on improving their confidence at competitions. This is something that I would love to do an entire video on. You eat healthy most of the time. You're in such great shape, thank you. Do you count your calories or macros? I definitely don't count my calories.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I think I do eat healthy most of the time. No, I definitely do eat healthy most of the time, but I must say that I love sweets and I love dark chocolate, and every once in a while I'll want to have a huge dessert or something a little bit more unhealthy, but I do almost every day I eat quite healthy because I just enjoy that. So yeah, to answer your question, I eat healthy most of the time, but I do enjoy treats and snacks, and I will reward myself a lot. Like, I do like to use kind of like a treat as almost a reward. If I've done something and I've worked really hard on something, I'll say you can have that chocolate bar tonight or something like that. And I love having sweets as a sugar rush before the show. When did you know it was the right time for you to pursue your career in Riverdance? For me, it was whenever I done the summer school, the Riverdance summer school. By the end of that week, I just knew that I wanted to do it. I fell in love with Riverdance even more. I loved what the instructors were saying about their experience with Riverdance, and I was 18, and for me, I just knew then, I just said, this is now my time to do that. I really want to do it, and I kind of decided I was going to put in the work that needed to be done to get there. So whenever the time is right for you, you know, you'll feel satisfied with your achievements in competition, and you will feel like you're ready for that new chapter and that new challenge, and you're ready to see how far you can go with that. So I think for everyone it's so different, but you really will know yourself and you'll just feel like you're so ready to go and try and be in shows. What's your usual daily workout? My go-to daily workout is a 20-minute full body workout. I have 2 of those on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link to them in the description below. And other than that, Pilates. Pilates is my favourite kind of workout, and I go to Reformer Pilates at ProPhysio NI, and I will put a link in the description below to their website. This was a rather funny question that I thought I'd add in at the end. Would you shave your head for €1 million? No, I would not. I think my hair is a huge part of me. I don't think shaving it is worth €1 million. Maybe that's a terrible thing for me to say, but I use my hair to dance. I think it adds to my role a little bit in Riverdance. The red curly hair, like I need my hair for my job basically. And no, I wouldn't shave my hair for €1 million to answer the question. So I think the rest of the questions very much fall under some of the questions I've answered. A lot of the questions too are asking for kind of specific advice on things. So I hope to write down the questions you're asking and make them into videos in the future. So keep an eye out for those. If I didn't answer your question, please make sure you let me know in the comments below and I will answer them personally for you there. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope it wasn't too boring. Maybe you learned a little bit about me from it. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please hit subscribe and hit the bell to be notified on all my future videos. I've mentioned a few of my other YouTube videos throughout this video, so I'm going to put some of them here. And if you like this video, make sure to check out some of my other videos, and thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye!